Hi guys, just another video following Thorins Company. I've had plenty of time in the last week to do some paintings. It's been really great. Managed to get a good old Thorin painting himself. As you'll see, he's very different to what you see in the film and what you see sort of the standard GW paint scheme. That's because I've said in the past I'm trying to follow a more book sort of style interpretation of the paint scheme, which is part of the reason why I've given the white hair, because it's like he is the oldest in the book. And so I thought, well, Bard has white hair, Thorin should have white hair as well. I also really like it. I don't know, it just feels more regal than when he's like got the dark hair from in the the actual film itself. As you'll see, he's got a gold belt, which he describes having in the book, and his possible yellow stockings, which I actually really like the way that's come out. I'm actually quite happy with the yellows I managed to do, because I've just been mixing stuff up. It's got lots of reds and golds. Orcrist is an elven-made weapon. It's from Gondolin. I feel like it should be nice and shiny and fancy. And also, he's a dwarf. Dwarves are great craftsmen. So I'm really happy with the way he's come out. He was really good fun to paint. I'm really enjoying painting this army. Like, to be honest, if you're struggling for money but you just want to get into Middle Earth, this is the box set. I think I've spent £30 on it. I think it's up to £32 now, 50, but that is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Literally, you buy that set. I mean, the Armies of the Hobbit book is 30 quid, maybe more now, which unfortunately is kind of annoying because it just potentially over doubles your price. But the thing is, it's not difficult. If you could find a local group to play with, somebody will have that book probably, and obviously some have the rule books. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like in theory, you can just start this hobby for 32 something. That's not much in the grand scale. Especially when you look at other games and even other armies in Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. Like my Isengard and my Khazad-dûm armies, they're both well over 1,000 points in total. Because like a box of 24 warriors is like £28 now. It just keeps going up. I must admit, the prices are getting a bit crazy. But that's the thing, that's 24 warriors. In most armies, you're looking somewhere between sort of like 170 to sort of 250 points out of an army for most of those boxes. Whereas, for a few more quid, you've got a full 1,000 point army. And it's very rare for games of Middle Earth to go about for 1,000 points. I think, to be honest, the system doesn't really support battles to get that much bigger. I mean, there's the old War of the Ring if you want to play really big battles, which I've been tempted to try and dig out my old copy and maybe see if I get people on board, because I do remember it was really good fun. But it would be really cool if GW maybe did that. I mean, I've got a massive collection, I must admit. It's like insane. I mean, my Isengard army is my biggest army, and it's 1,700 points in total. I think about that. I could feel some big armies, especially if we want to do like battles of Pelennor Fields. I've got Mummoks, I've got Eastlings, I've got loads of orcs, plenty of orcs. I've got at least a box of modern orcs and a box of normal orcs, and other bits and pieces. But anyway, so that's how Thorin's come out. Really pleased with that. Really happy. I must admit, he's just really like the way he's come out. But he's not all that I've painted this week. So here we have, I believe this is Boffer. And yeah, it's cosmetic. Really happy with the way he's come out. So he, I believe it describes having a yellow hood in the books, which is why his majority yellow. Just like, this is Biffa. I can't remember if it's his brother or just his cousin, but obviously these two and Bomber they're the only ones, I think, Thorins Companies that aren't Durin's folk. They're not related to the line of Durin or whatever. So I've kind of tried to keep them sort of together. And now, why have I selected green? Well, that's because in the book, this big lad over here is described as having a green hood. So I've given him a green jacket and a sort of like green undershirt thing. But obviously, you see again, he's still got the yellow on the trousers. I'm actually really happy with how his trousers have come out. But yeah, and I quite like the way I've done his beard as well. But yeah, so that's sort of the reasoning for why those guys are being painted away. I think they kind of, they look a bit different to the others, but they look linked. And this is kind of what I've been trying to do throughout my whole sort of painting of Thorin's companies. For the most part, try and have sort of like the closer relations sort of grouped together. So obviously, Thorin, Killy, and Philly, they all have blue coats, which I really like. And actually, if I go back to Thorin, you can see that his coat's a bit shiny, a bit glossy. And for some reason, my Drakenhof Nightshade just keeps coming up glossy. I've shaken it, I've stirred it. I don't know, maybe I need to get like a proper paint shaker or something, maybe that'll help it out. But I actually quite like the kind of glossy work. I guess it's kind of like polished leather, and at least it matches with Philly and Killy, so I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, so obviously that's kind of my thinking. I mean, I know sort of like Dwalin and Balin are very, very different, but then I kind of feel that they're kind of different. So I mean, I think there's like a couple of colors similar. Like I think I gave Balin green trousers and Dwalin's got a green jacket. But yeah, so I have tried to sort of keep them together to a degree, sort of in their groups of brothers and closest cousins and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed this project. It's a great project. Again, it's really nice if you want an army that you just want to be able to spend lots of time on, individual models, make them look really nice. Again, Thorins Company is great for that because you've got, is it 14 models? 15 models? I can't remember now off the top of my head. I have to do a count up. But anyway, that's the thing, you can really take your time, really enjoy them, like make them look absolutely astounding on the tabletop. Which is, to be honest, is a thing that I've sort of gone into in the last years. I've kind of lost interest in doing big armies. I just enjoy doing sort of individual models or small groups. So Thorins Company is great for that. I don't really intend to buy any more armies for the foreseeable future. I mean, still keep thinking about maybe getting Star Wars Legion, but I don't know when that'll happen. Maybe it might not ever happen, to be honest. I might just see if people want to play. I might be able to borrow armies and stuff. But yeah, I mean, certainly with my 40k stuff, I've got my Horse Heresy now. I've got a 3 armies in that. I don't think I'll build any more. I'll probably just add to those. And again, with a lot of my Lord of the Rings collection, my Middle Earth collection, I'll just be adding bits into some of the armies. But even in those cases, I don't know really how much more I'm going to want to add to some of the armies. Like, I think I'm kind of at the stage right now where I just kind of paint for leisure. I have armies to play with. I mean, certainly I think with Middle Earth moving forwards, I'm going to try and stick mostly to Isengard and Khazad Dûm because they're the 2 armies I really like, and I want to get really good with those. But certainly Thorin's Company will be nice because it's a small army, so if I'm traveling around, maybe I could take them with me. But anyway, just before I finish the video, I'm going to show you off Bilbo, who is he's still a work in progress. And by work in progress, I mean it's basically just the base left to finish. I think it's still drying a little bit, which is why I look a bit shinier and stuff. But I really enjoy painting hobbits, absolutely love it. I must admit, I mean, I've got a very small hobbit army. It's only about 400-ish points something. It's just a really fun project. I really enjoyed it. I think I've done a video on it in the past, but I must admit, I might add the occasional box or blister of hobbits something to it just because I really enjoyed painting them, and yeah, I really had good fun with Bilbo, and yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy. He's followed probably the model that has followed the film scheme the closest. Just because, to be honest, I think the film look feels very good. It feels like very true to the book. I could be wrong, but it's that kind of the red jacket, the green waistcoat, and it's got the brown trousers. I think that feels right. And that feels very natural. But anyway, I'm quite happy with him. And just to sort of add something else in, I have been working on Gandalf as well. Still a lot to go. I mean, I'm not putting shading on him or anything, but yeah, I'm actually really close to finishing Thorins Company. And hopefully some point in the future I'll get them on the table. I already know they're really good fun. I've already played a friend who was using them, and actually they're incredibly powerful, I must admit, considering there's only a handful of models. So long as you sort of keep them close, you've got to make sure you utilize that that which is the 1 inch exclusion zone or whatever, that control zone, and that's what you got to make sure you keep on. Otherwise, people can just flank you. But if you can close the gaps up a little bit, you can stop people from flanking you, and just have your tougher dwarves can just beat on people, and then the weaker dwarves maybe just kind of help them out a little bit, and just holding the numbers up. Maybe assisting with some of the might points and will points and stuff. All the fancy abilities they've got. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Till the next time, goodbye.